All right.
Welcome back to the International Brotherhood of Simps 311.
1 part sugar, 2 parts potassium nitrate, 1 part glycerin. Just for
the reading
out there.
Joe, is that a bomb recipe?
That's good. Like 5 minutes, like 30 seconds ago, Trip showed dick. Trip showed penis.
Well, Steve's wearing like a collared shirt for like some kind of job thing with a tie and pants down to his basketball shorts, and I was wearing a shirt with holes in it, so the only way I could compete was just whipping out my cock.
Oh, were you not sitting like that? That's an infinitely more funny image. Just you sitting in bed with the shirt on but no pants on.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, no, I want to believe that.
That's my Jesus. Yeah.
You know, that is like a cool thing for a guy, because you know, like girls are like, they're like hot when they're just wearing like a dude's shirt or whatever and don't have anything on underneath. What about a guy just wearing like a buttoned up shirt or something and nothing on underneath? Just like a regular shirt. I feel like we should reclaim that.
And loafers too.
And loafers and shoes, yeah. Maybe socks.
Dude,
That'd
I
be
like
cool.
the kind of like crop top gay dudes. That would be my gay dude if I could be like, if that was like a fucking lane. Yeah, if. I do
You
own,
showed
like...
us your dick like 5 seconds ago. Damn. I found my first white hair today in my head.
Oh.
Kind of crazy. And it was like long and curly. It was weird. You might be able to.
Different texture than. Huh.
I think it's gone. I'll look for it later.
It's the beginning of the end. It's death.
Yeah, that does suck.
This one kid in elementary school, and his whole deal was he always had a patch of white hair, like since he came out of the womb.
That's like a classic. He saw something scarring and it dyed it white or something.
So you can tell if someone got molested.
Yeah, that's just what it means.
His family upbringing is pretty weird because his mom's from Israel, so she's like a toughened, like she knows Krav Maga or whatever.
Yeah.
His dad was a super old World War II veteran. Like,
damn.
Weird ends of the spectrum, but like
for the Allied powers or the Axis powers.
Yeah.
Dude, if I was Trip, I would have been able to sink that joke on the first try because I would have known which war side was it.
I'm gonna say because I would be a real anti-Semite.
No. No, I was mocking your war knowledge, not your anti-Semitism.
Yeah, that's what it is. War knowledge. Man, I really do love like World War II in color, man. That shit's awesome. It's cool that they can just release the same footage with like just paint over it, and like dads just go ape. Like I think everyone got a text from their dad, like, "Yo, man, World War II in color, like mind blowing. We'll never know what it was like to be at Iwo Jima or whatever."
Wait, what is this? It's just like they took like what do you ask?
It's like old footage from World War II, and it's like
they colorized it or something.
Yeah, they did like put it through like whatever like the simulation is. But I definitely got a text from my dad, which is like probably my favorite like Tony Soprano thing is that he's just constantly watching World War II documentaries.
That is cool.
The part about that like colorization was they also had to like slow down the film because you know how old timey film looks like really goofy, like Marx Brothers, which I sort of wish they had left it like that.
Yeah, well, that's why like modern TVs are fucked up, or like shit that runs at like 60 frames per second or something, because like everybody's so used to like it's not what the frame rate was for that shit. I think modern film is like 24 frames per second or something, or like classic film or whatever. But now TVs run shit at like 60 frames per second, so it like that's like what the weird sitcom effect is. You ever see that where like shit on the TV looks realer than it is, you know, like you can like it's like too I don't know, it's like too in detail or something. It fucking sucks. Like, and all modern TVs are like basically like made to do that. Whenever you go to a hotel, it's like that, and it sucks, you know.
Yeah, is that because of video games? I was kind of.
I think it is. I think that's part of it. Also, like for sports, I think it might look better or whatever, because like people do want to like see like the smallest like little action or something. But,
right, and it's a wider shot generally than you would have on like a
yeah,
or something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Word.
Let's talk about cool stuff like this.
Yeah. I had a wet dream where I was like, I was about to have sex with this really hot like British girl I know, and I was super excited. And I go, oh wait, like we gotta be done in time for my podcast. And she was like, this isn't going to happen. And I woke up almost immediately. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, a dirtbag left podcast, another one.
We should did you see Chris's message in the Zoom chat?
I did, yeah.
We should do a crowdfunding thing for Chris to get a new laptop.
Yeah.
Chris, did you hear that?
No, I missed it.
We're going to do a crowdfunding thing to get you a new laptop so you can record better.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
That would be great.
I would love that.
Yeah. On the first one, what did you guys think of the intro? Our special guest
super
shouting
good,
out.
dude.
We don't know who it is.
We don't.
I love it.
We don't. We do know Baron's a fan though.
Whatever that means. Whoever this Baron character is, yeah.
Man, you know, he's like 6'7".
He's a tall son of a bitch. He is so fucking
Such
tall.
a Chad, dude.
I saw some theories that he was the Antifa super warrior. I'm gonna believe that.
That is good.
Holy shit! Did you guys see that the fucking chick from Glee just drowned in a lake?
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of like minor TV death people, minor like C-list death people.
We were just shitting on fucking Mythbusters.
So I want to go back to Mythbusters. I think there's a weird. You ever see Watchmen or read Watchmen?
Yeah, I think I saw it once.
If not, I can explain it. It's one of those things I just autistically love.
Wait, but before we move on, can I clarify? Was the guy that died from Mythbusters, was that?
Yes. No. That's the thing. It's so Adam Savage, accused of raping his sister in the 70s. Grant, Asian guy, died of a brain aneurysm.
His last name.
That's his last name. Is that Asian guy Grant? You ever see those handles like that funny Asian or something? That's like I feel like an archetype of an Asian comedian on Twitter. Anyway, so Watchmen is like it's like a really great graphic novel that came out in the 80s, and it's like it's not like any like real DC superheroes. It's like a take on it though, where there's like one superhero, Dr. Manhattan, who's like the Superman of that world, and then there's like a bunch of other like costumed guys, and they're all just like insane. They have like these insane complexes and personality disorders, because that's like what a real superhero would be like, right? It's just like a psycho, or like that was good. But their version of Batman is like this guy Rorschach. He's just like a homeless guy, you know, who like got abused and molested as a kid. Like it's very like dark or whatever. It's great. But at the beginning of it, it's like all of the superheroes are being taken out by like this mysterious figure, and it's kind of like that for Mythbusters. Like the Superman of Watchmen is like accused of giving people cancer, and then other superheroes start dying or like getting thrown in jail or whatever. And I think they're doing it to Mythbusters.
Dude,
they're getting rid of all the busters.
Are we suspects in all this? Because I mean, we had some.
We saw it. We didn't see it. Yeah, I feel like we didn't do enough with Adam's, the whole Adam Savage thing.
That's crazy.
We could have laughed more at that, or like what if all of the busters are dead, all of the myths that they busted become true again, and like we can eat shit off the floor, like the 5-second rule is real if it's fucking.
Man,
that sounds amazing. We were talking about how we hated them for fucking busting all those myths,
that was the only myth I could think of. Do you guys have any myths?
When they shot through the engine block of the car, and they're like, it doesn't actually stop it. But I'm not going to talk about guns this episode. I like this.
That's going to be an ongoing challenge throughout this is one episode without. without mentioning firearms. I mean, we already started with the bomb, so I think that's off for this episode.
Yo, I saw this dude this week who was like tweeting about how like people who aren't voting for Biden think they're better than Angela Davis, and he like owns like fucking gold mines in Africa where they just don't pay the people. But what's even more fucked up is they did it like they like sat everybody down and like, it's hard times for everybody. Our executives aren't getting paid, and it's like people making like $1 a day.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Bobby De Niro, he'll be lucky if he gets $7 million this year.
Dude, that sucked too. Yeah. Damn. The Angela Davis thing is annoying because it's like the same thing people do with Chomsky, where he's like, okay, vote for Biden. He's the lesser of two evils. But like, he's been saying that for so long, like for just every, presidential election or whatever. And it's like, the liberals or whatever who are quoting Davis and Chomsky for that are just like, that's the only thing that they fucking say from them, because everything else is like, oh, that's insane, that's too radical. But now they're like on their side when they gotta vote for fucking Joe.
It's like the one MLK quote that like, it's like the whole thing about, people taking like the whole like fucking I have a dream speech is the totality of Martin Luther King's thing, and not like the, hey, arm yourselves and be socialists. Which is of course not something that they could let fly.
Yeah. I'm down to talk more about this, but did you guys ever see, back to Mythbusters for just a second, did you guys ever see the picture of the Adam Savage lookalike on the internet who was doing Goatse, and then he's got his hands in his ass and the caption is like, my hole is busted? It's good. I'll send that. That's funny. It looks so much like him too. It's crazy. It might be him. I think it is him.
I feel like I might have seen that, but
yeah, I think we posted it in some group chat or something.
Did they all wear shitty hats, or was that just like fucking?
I think it was the walrus looking dude. Who? It's weird that guy. What's gonna happen to that guy?
Yeah. If you had to based on who was gonna be the quote unquote rape blob, I would definitely put it on that too.
Very true.
Oh, fucking shit. Oh.
How are you guys doing?
I mean, life has been really good ever since I dumped my ex-girlfriend. I've just been getting incredibly drunk like early in the morning, being like, all right, well, it's time to go to work. And like, I just got a raise. They're like, wow, you're so calm and in control. And it's like, wow, I'm glad.
That's you're like Don Draper.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, baby.
I'm not doing as much like molesting. There's a great Don Draper thing where like he's mad at one of the gay dudes in the office for not fucking the gay client, because like the gay client tries to like rape this gay dude, and Don Draper's like, you knew you were gay when like I wonder why he got the idea that he could have sex with you, you fucking queer. And then they just fire him, and like
that's just how they did it. That's just how they did it back then, man.
Dude, it's crazy that they were gonna like compromise on the Mad Men thing where they're like, we're gonna put a title card in front of the blackface episode.
Oh yeah, that was one of those things. They do that for like Looney Tunes now too, like
Looney Tunes is blackface.
Yeah, buddy. Dude, there's some bad shit in some Looney Tunes. Well, that's also where like the gloves come from, is like the gloves are an artifact of like minstrel shows or whatever. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, Looney Tunes have a dark past. There's a really bad did you guys hear that ding?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my bad. I'll mute that. There's a really bad Looney Tunes, like an old, I want to say like 40s Looney Tunes, where they like substitute Elmer Fudd for just like a black guy, and it's bad. Like it's just a black guy, or it's just Elmer Fudd, but he's like a black guy, and
What?
The real tune heads don't talk about that one.
Yo, Mickey Mouse has those gloves too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Man,
I definitely them too.
fucking Walt Disney is a crazy guy to fucking dig into all that. And also, all right, St. Louis Airport is named after probably the biggest Nazi in the U.S. and a dear friend of Adolf Hitler's, Charles Lindbergh.
That's a big high school. Lots of people go to Lindbergh.
Yeah, dude. A lot of people who are not white. That's got to be kind of weird, man. The most outspoken member of the American Nazi Party.
Yeah.
Who is like, cool because his baby got fucking murdered, and it's like, oh.
we should talk about that. You guys ever read? I think it's either a Philip K. Dick novel or a Philip Roth novel, where it's like, what if it's like Charles Lindbergh's child doesn't get? It's like an alternate history thing, and Charles Lindbergh's kid doesn't get abducted, and he like just keeps growing in prominence or whatever, and then he like runs for president or something. It sounds good. I kind of want to read that. Yeah. But then he's like also like furthering ties with like the Nazis, or I think it's Philip Roth book because he's Jewish, and I think he wrote about it like it would have been fucked if like for the Jews if Charles Lindbergh became president.
I think ideologically we were definitely closer to the Nazis in that war, but we just had like a fetish for Britain, and so it was like, well, we felt like
an awful fetish to have. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, seriously. Where they brought us democracy. It's like, fuck them, dude. I do love that Winston Churchill was an alcoholic and won that war. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. With the kid that got abducted, I remember reading or like skimming Wikipedia for that a long time ago, and apparently like the police originally just like accused the maid or something, and they like did like this horrible like interrogation to her, and they like made her admit that she did it, and then like she killed herself, and then like a day later it became like evidence that it would have been impossible for her to do it, like they just completely like bullied this poor woman into killing herself. That was just
thing. Like the witch trials, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On to the next woman.
Police work was a lot more hit and miss those days.
Dude, I honestly like every interrogation or like interrogated confession just has to be bullshit, right? Like
no,
there's no way you admit to that.
There's a fucking documentary, I forget what it's called, but it's about these 3 guys who admit to like fucking raping and dismembering this girl, and then it just becomes like a painfully apparent that it couldn't have happened. Like one of the guys has a broken arm and has like 4 or 5 people vouching for the fact that he's like at the hospital or whatever. And in it, the fucking interrogator is like talking. He's like, well, this is your chance to, make it right. And, you need to pass the test. He's pretending like he's like Jesus or something. And it's like this fucking poor redneck who's like, well, I mean, I suppose I could have done it.
Yeah. Boy.
It doesn't sound too out of character for me.
I mean, it's like at least Brendan Dassey was fucking retarded.
Oh god,
that interrogation's fucked up too, because they're like, Brandon, did you do something to this woman? And you're like, oh no. So fucking bad, dude. No, he's not intelligible for most of that conversation. They're like, well,
this isn't the Texas guy who got.
He's the making a murderer guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they're like, in the great state of Wisconsin, that constitutes guilt, boy. And he's like crying. He's like, if I tell my mom, or if I tell everybody that I fucking burned this body, can I go home to my mom?
That is.
It's just so funny that he misses so many times about the details of the crime that he supposedly committed. Where they're like, tell us exactly how you did it. And he's like, I did it with a crowbar. And they're like, come on, Brendan. We know you're we know that's not true. He's like, okay, I did it with a hairbrush. They're like, come on, Brendan.
Brendan, you know what you're doing right here is not right.
He's like Two-Face. He's got multiple personalities who each committed a different version of the murder.
And that's what the Clue board game is based on.
Yeah.
And the thing goes, Brendan Dassey had a confirmed IQ of 76.
That's the worst part. Why'd they have to put that in there?
You gotta man.
Chris, you gotta tell us about your house. I've been thinking about your house a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, first of all, I'm COVID free, which is
that is good. Hell yeah.
So that's good. I'm hoping next for next week's episode, I'll actually get COVID though. People on their toes. But yeah, so the folks built a new house, or they're in the process of it. It's fucking massive, dude.
Why don't you say the address?
Give us a cross. No, you're too deep in the woods to cross streets.
Why don't you give us coordinates?
I'll give you a hint. It's off the 18th tee off on a golf course.
Oh, jeez.
Damn. I hope we get big enough someday that the most like autistic fans will be able to like decipher that, like they did with Shia LaBeouf and the "He Will Not Divide Us" thing. Did we already talked about that? I think
we did, yeah.
That would be cool though.
Too. I love fan mail, or mail.
Yeah.
I love Unabomber.
Yeah, it's just people who want to kill you.
My wish list, anthrax. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so the house is cool, but the best part about it is the fucking bunker, man. Like,
dude, that was sick. That is so sick.
Super long. It's not that wide, but like, I don't know, man. You could probably comfortably fit like 7 people in there. You know, you may get on each other's nerves, and there's gonna be a lot of guns in there, man. Holy fuck!
Yeah,
when I tell you this man owns guns, he owns fucking like 300 plus, I'd say. You know, he's got,
that's an arsenal.
Yes, it is. Barrett 50 cal, military grade sniper rifle. That if that fucking hits you anywhere, you're just dissolved. You're disintegrated.
Really need to hit you to kill you.
Trip. You can't talk about this. It's Chris right now.
This is like torture for the man.
Yeah. Trip is squirming.
Yeah, the audience can't see me, but
here's my thing. I just think it's funny because he owns 2 sniper rifles, both of which can hit a target at a mile in distance. Okay?
Can you own a sniper rifle?
You can't. He owns. You fucking can.
I'm trolling.
First of all, if I tried to shoot that, my shoulder would explode. I just wouldn't have a shoulder anymore because I'm just not big enough to shoot a fucking Barrett 50 cal.
Yes.
Dude, yeah.
But here's the thing. The Second Amendment, it's for like protecting yourself, right? But when have you ever been in a situation when you're a mile away from someone and they're running at you with like a knife or a crazy look in your eye and you're like, I fucking need to do it. I appreciate his preparedness because that thing can take down a small fucking helicopter. We're stacked.
No, I heard it couldn't. I heard it actually couldn't take down a small helicopter. We just need to keep saying we need to keep saying incendiary things, Chris. That'll try and get Trip to correct us.
Incendiary rounds, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Trips are Adam Savage on this podcast.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Wait, this is I'm the most autistic. I gotta be the rape.
And you do Gote. And you look like him doing Gote.
Hey, you know what? I am a fucking proud nudist. I was at something the other day, really drunk, like my first time back at a bar, and I was like, "Yeah, I fucking am a nudist," and like the conversation changed so fucking quick, dude. Air got sucked out of the room.
Is that how you bagged that executive trip?
Delicious.
She felt a little exotic for the night.
Look at this autist from the woods. Man, okay, I today I was on my way back from work and I got so much fucking like water in my loafers because it rained here. And then like I got home and I'm just like taking off my wet clothes and like there might have been a couple tears in there. I don't know.
That's a depressing walk home is in the fucking rain.
Dude, it was a bike ride and it was like, well, it's like I brought it here and I can't leave it here. So
yeah.
It was a man, it was one of those like fucking come to Jesus moments. But man, a lot of W's. I found out I didn't realize that our lease extended until August 1st, which is really great because we were about to take this place and the guy had told us, he's like, well, we've had some heroin problems with the people in the basement before. And I'm just standing there being like, and he's like, and you guys share like basically it was a duplex, but it was like bisected by their space. So he's like, yeah, you just have to walk through their fucking hallway, and then you can get to your other room. And I'm just sitting there like, oh.
You just have to turn down a needle every time you're going to your room.
Listen, I can't say no that many fucking times.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, you know, the one dude is like he's a cook at, I'm not going to say the name of the place, but it's a place where I was like, oh, I've heard about those dudes.
Yeah.
Like one of those legendary line cook lines where it's like, yeah, these dudes are in it for the fucking life. And it's like, man, I don't want to be with the 35-year-old who is just shooting heroin in the basement when I'm young and trying to be.
Dude, that's crazy. I've never heard of like heroin, but Sophia worked at this. Someone worked at this breakfast place, and the cooks would do cocaine just all the time, and were constantly offering her line, which is, I'm gonna say, better than heroin. So because you always know you can get a bump. You know?
It's just like every restaurant, right? Like everyone has to be doing cocaine or some sort of like amphetamine.
When I was working at that pizza place, I was briefly a manager to all these crust punks who were all like in their 40s and had kids, and they would start to go on withdrawals. This one dude threw a 9-pan at my head because I was like, hey man, you gotta do your closing shit, because you know, a real disciplinarian, real tough guy. Hey man, you gotta do your closing shit. And fucking hurled a 9-pan at my head and just like called me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's like, you fucking piece of shit. And it was like, what did I do?
Yeah.
He came back the next day and tried to apologize, and I was like, hey man, I'm not capable of like forgiving crust punks. I mean, I basically already thought you were fucking subhuman. Because it's like, yeah man, I do have a family in the scene. Like, your dad is a fucking Edward Jones broker, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're 35 and you have 2 kids. Like, dude, I was so tempted because I knew where he lived because I dropped him off a couple times, and I was like, I call CPS once and it's over for the boy. But I can never snitch like that.
It's like that'll teach you to fucking sweep our pizzeria floors, bitch.
Yeah, that's who you need to. That's his life you need to fuck up. Is the guy.
The 35-year-old H dude, yeah. Well, it's just like, listen, man, I'm not gonna get violent with you over fucking pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
not
at
worth
the same time, like, you know, it's like, oh goddamn, like, and of course I would never call the fucking authorities. Although, you boys, today I sent out an Indeed application for a prosecutor's office in the Denver Metro, and I'm sitting there like, what am I? I fucking with family fucking in the system, and here I am like fucking, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fucking be a fucking
put guys away,
baby.
Dude.
And sabotage, slow work.
Sabotage.
You put in 3 months of good work on the front end, and then you just start slowing down.
I rationalized it, and I was like $66,000 a year. I'll give 20 of it to the DSA. I'm just like sitting there like fucking checking it out, and then I get like the automated reply. It's like, you don't meet the qualifications. And this whole like fucking, I sold my soul for something that would never.
That's gonna come back to bite you when fucking DSA takes over the country and they have people lined up against brick walls.
Just me being like, no, I was dirtbag left. All the shit I said about the retards wasn't serious.
That is funny to like completely resign yourself to like sell out or whatever, and then realize you're not good enough to sell out. We don't want you. Yeah.
Man, it was so fucking good. Oh, dude.
It was like that for me in TFA, because I was like, TFA's bad because they take jobs usually like away from like people who do like a full education master's or whatever, like who are going to teach. So they're just like inherently like less qualified people, and usually they are just like people who want like a good resume thing. So like they're either getting into politics or they're gonna go to law school eventually. Yeah, that's a big one too. And not all those people are like bad people or whatever, but it is kind of like, okay, you're working with these kids for 2 years, you're building like a relationship with them, and then you're leaving them, right? If you're like the politician kid or the law school kid or whatever. And I I like while I was in the middle, like doing my interview, prepping for my interview, I was like, oh God, I'm probably gonna turn this offer down once I get it, just because they're so bad or whatever, you know. And then I don't get an offer, and it's like, oh fuck, I'm a loser.
I have a job interview tomorrow at a place, and all it does is Chinese student exchange visas. And I don't know if you're familiar with, because listen, here's the thing about our fabulous president, okay? Our triumphant president is he's identified that a lot of these people are legitimately like spies or whatever. And what I want to do is whore myself out to the CIA and like just pretend there's a conspiracy and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in like untaxed income and just fucking ball out and be like this fucking kid and just start witch hunts. Way I see it, we got 4 more years, baby, and if I gotta suckle on the teat, I'm gonna do it.
It's that guy in the Bape, officer.
You can't get those shark hoodies anymore.
Yeah.
Just calling everybody a PLA operative and just getting fucking people kicked out on trumped up bullshit charges. Because here's the thing, one of my dear friends used to sell exchange students drugs, and they just love Molly. I guess they just don't have Molly over there, and it's the shit over here. And so they just do Molly all the time. And I'm just gonna become the rogue cop I always deserve to be. With Cage.
Japan is weird with drugs. Like, I remember seeing something about how like there's like this game series called Yakuza, which is like sort of like their version of Grand Theft Auto, but like very different, but it's sort of like that. And one of like the big voice actors in it is like some Japanese voice actor celebrity. And there was like something where he like got arrested for doing cocaine and like doing drugs that I think even doing weed, but doing like any sort of drug is like super stigmatized, like way more so in Japan than here. And that guy got like thrown in jail and like they digitally edited him out of the game and shit. And then I saw like this comparison headline where it was like some like renowned manga artist like just had child porn on his computer, and they were like, oh, you can't have that, and he had to pay like a fine or something. Like he was just like, and he like didn't lose any social status, like he still fucking makes manga or whatever. It is just yeah. So like we're fucked up, but that's pretty fucked up, you know. Like at least we're not that bad, you know. Like at least we think child porn is as bad as cocaine, rather than
hey man, at least ketamine is on the track to legalization. That's all.
Yeah, there we go. There we go, dude. I want to do ketamine so bad. I don't know where to get that shit though.
You just find the fucking most Wookieest fucking dead end person who's still happy. Like if they're not doing age and you're like, how are you happy? It's like, oh, it's ketamine. Because I listen, I'm a PCP guy. I've always been. I'm gonna put that out there.
I don't think you want that label.
No, dude, I'm a PCP man, and I swear to God, I have not like. Look, here's the thing, right? All right, did it cure my depression? Yeah. Can I feel anything now? No. I did an MRI after I stopped doing a bunch of PCP, and he's like, "Yeah, see this? This part should be green. Yours is yellow."
Damn. What does that mean?
It just means, hey man, life is just a little bit different after you've done enough CAT or PCP. It's like it does fucking cure depression, man. I swear to God, I'm back at it. 3 days. You know, the last podcast was the saddest I was in forever, and I came back, and it's like I have just been living like the greatest couple of weeks of my life, and it is all because my brain doesn't work anymore. And I'm gonna get Alzheimer's at 43. And you know what? God got me away from some temporary pain when I was 19 or whatever.
Oh, God.
Hey man, we were talking last week about how 50 is too old. So I'm here with you, Trip. I fully support this, and I hope this becomes a diary of sorts for your PCP this podcast.
I'm just listening back, and I'm just like, wow, I was kind of racist.
It'd be funny if you did die of like some horrible drug overdose, and then like me and Chris had to talk to your parents and be like, yeah, we had no idea, we didn't see the signs. After this happened, like
After 3 years ago.
That's what Steve's gonna do, and I'm gonna do a super edit of all of these. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Trips drug stories.
Super cut.
R.I.P. You guys remember 3 years ago in Chicago when I came in with this like bag of like synthetic cocaine? Just kept telling people how safe it was, and then like 2 months later, I was like, "Hey, good thing you didn't do more of that."
I know, dude, because you called me or you FaceTimed me one time, and you were like, "I'm glad I didn't leave the bag with you, man. I just went in. I've been collapsing all week randomly." I was like,
"Oh God, I didn't
man.
know you had done more of it. That scares me."
Oh, I was doing it all the time, man.
Oh, well, you had done it before then. Okay.
Oh yeah, and previous. I mean, listen, man. There were even a couple times where it was like, "Hey, brother, it's neurotoxic, but it's what we got tonight, and I can't keep drinking if we're not doing some, something resembling cocaine."
I feel like such a baller at the time, thinking I was doing cocaine in Chris's dorm room, and then felt like such a not baller when I learned it was a bad research drug.
That was funny because I've never been that liberal with my dorm room ever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that
People
was
were
like,
coming in, seeing this show
all the time, and I was just like, "You want some hexacane?" And they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It doesn't matter, man. It's light as the powder."
Scientist Trip says it's all good, brother. This kid with hair to his fucking shoulders who hasn't made a fucking complete sentence in 4 minutes. And I'm like talking to people. I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's the crazy thing about the fucking, and man, listen, I knew Trump was going to win. Because if you really, this country."
I even freaked out the band kids who were like burnouts and.
Yeah, dude, they were even like, "We're gonna split."
Yeah.
That was a fun trip. That was good.
That was, yeah.
Man, every time I've been to Chicago, and really any major metropolitan area where I just don't feel equipped to deal with the scenery, I always end up doing speed because it's like I just can't. I feel like I'm just not I'm not processing things quick enough. And every time I have like a fucking paranoid breakdown midway through, and it is like one of my favorite parts about. I remember being at Chicago Music Exchange and just looking around and being like, "I'm gonna get fucking arrested."
Well, we treated those trips as like marathons because you guys would come in for like a fucking week or like 4 days or something, and we would just from the morning to the night.
Yeah, on the Greyhound.
That was a good era.
It really
probably never
was.
never have a time as good as that anymore. Something to simmer on.
I can't believe that's true.
I'm just kidding. We're gonna have a dangerous material meetup so we can do an in-person pod and Chris won't sound like shit or me sound like shit because my mic for some reason sounds bad. But we should all meet up somewhere and do a couple of episodes.
I think it's got to be Philly because it is the city of brotherly love, and there's nothing that this podcast believes in more than fucking brotherly love.
That's what it's about, baby. That's what it's about.
Shit, man.
I found a good Reddit post I wanted to share with you guys. You might have seen it. It kind of got big, but it's like this our relationships thing about this like guy whose daughter like killed herself or something, and then he had her diary. Do you guys know that?
No.
Don't say. Okay, let me explain it then. He had her diary, and he wanted to open it up and read it, and then his wife didn't want to read it, and he was like, "Reddit, what should I do?" And it's like, "Oh, this is such a horribly sad thing." And then this guy, whose name is Gary Bush Morgan, replied, "That is a personal decision that we, the readers, can't decide for you. You've been true hell. No parent ought to have this in their mind. I feel for you, OP, and I be one to say Reddit in a privy fashion where only ye know. Tuck their diary back and keep your info to yourself. 'Tis my advice, tis." He just did it. He did it in a pirate voice. Isn't that just the fucking best thing? It's got like negative 1,000 votes, but also people like golded it 1,000 times. Also, it's just the best fucking comment I've ever seen. Arrgh. Sorry about your daughter.
Arrgh, you be going through a lot right now. Arrgh. It should be all therapy, just like Dr. Melfi, like, arg, Tony, your mama tried to kill you. Is B the borderline personality disorder, methinks.
Oh man, that's great. That's how all fucking just doctors in general should be.
Arg, you having cancer. Arg, you got the 6 months, matey.
That'll be 50,000 doubloons.
Arg,
no for the insurance payment information.
Arg, wallet biopsy.
It's so good though, because I wonder what like his like thought process was behind it. Like, did he think that it would be a well-received comment, the guy who said this? Like, did he think that people would laugh at it? Or was he like going in and expecting people to be like, you son of a bitch, this dude's daughter is dead?
Argument of levity to the dead daughter situation.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have the post pulled up? Could you go to his account and see his replies?
I have his comment, but I should check that out. That's a good idea.
Because what if that's just his character, you know? What if he's just a pirate at heart?
Sympathetic pirate man on Reddit.
A little bit too far out to sea to be a pirate head.
Damn, I fucking hate Reddit, but it's also like the only forum, you know? Like, there's no other real forums anymore.
Well, that's
I can think of at least one.
Yeah. You think of the 4chan fitness forums where I can't leave.
True.
Does drinking your cum mean more gains? Yo, okay, I was obviously okay. I'm not a 4chan. That was a joke about 4chan. And
dude, he is just a pirate guy. He does just reply everything.
I knew it.
Dude, that is so sick.
But that's what I was gonna say. That's that kind of energy. It's like bringing 4chan onto Reddit. It's like when 4chan kind of got too fucking toxic. Some of those people were like, I have to go to Reddit, and that's like how you get people like the pirate guy.
Damn. This is. Oh, I'm gonna spend a lot of time looking at this. That was a good idea, Chris. Arg is a personal decision that we, the readers, can't decide for you.
Arg, you're so beautiful. Show us your feet. Arg.
Pirate simp. I love that.
Yeah.
Arg, let me give you my doubloons.
Damn. Oh, I'll look at that at a later time for the next one. But that's a good guy. I'm gonna PM him. We'll get him on an episode.
Yeah,
Gary Bush Morgan.
Amazing. Dude, me and my brother were workshopping a character, and it's a guy who doesn't know what Zionism is, and so he's just out there like, yeah, dude, fuck that park. Like, it's got no right to exist.
Wait, what is Zion Park?
Zion National Park, yeah.
Oh. So me and Chris are not worldly on park knowledge.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. What people end up out here and they're like, fucking, like let's fucking hit.
Is it in Colorado?
No, it's in Utah. It's pretty cool.
Okay, that sounds cool.
But it's
you like snowboarding and shit?
No, it's like a desert type deal.
Oh
you
shit!
Go out and you fucking, you get freaked out.
Nice.
Utah's crazy, man. Utah is the shit. Shout out to Utah.
I've been to Arches, and I was sorely disappointed when it wasn't just a foot museum. Feel me?
Oh, the best, dude! I would love to be the guy.
Do you have a foot fetish too, Chris?
Yeah.
I mean, man, we've all experimented here and there.
Okay, sure.
I'm not gonna say that some toenails haven't been painted on my behalf. But...
Oh yeah. So you're an even weirder foot guy. It's about your. It's not this song. Yo, okay. I'm sitting we were all at the pool, and people are like, "Wow, dude, you have a size 8 foot." And I gotta tell you, it was the most emasculating experience. It was like a whole bunch of people like, yo, how do you stand, motherfucker?
That's when you should have brought out the dick, Trip.
Yeah, because it's an 8-inch dick too. Yeah. That's just not true. Because the thing about dick measurement is you give an approximation to a girl, but when it comes to the boys, I mean, you're talking about length, girth, you're talking about centimeters, you're talking about fucking.
Yeah, you need fractions.
It's water displacement. Yeah, that's what it's like getting jacked, dude. It's only for the boys, really. Like at a certain point, like it's just like, oh, like that's just painful. And so it's only for your boys. You know what I mean? And
you're talking about 3D technology.
That's why I whipped out my cock earlier. Yeah.
Trip, you saying what did you say earlier about fit and drinking cum to get better gains?
Oh, I mean, I think that's just a meme.
That reminded me. We need to drink cum. No, we need to. we need to all take T tests so we can see who has the most T. And the way to win the test is we all have to just chug cum beforehand, so we've got higher levels.
I'm like caught in a human centipede cycle with myself, where I can't pull myself off my own dick.
Yeah, you've just got like this huge tube going down your mouth, and you're like, I'm the most manly. I'm the most alpha.
I'm gonna start saving right now. I'm gonna put some in my humidifier.
Oh, that's good.
I knew some guys like I knew some dudes who like had friends who would like pretend to be experiencing gender dysphoria so that they could buy the tea off of them, and they would just get like incredibly jacked. These were some of my friends in Michigan, and like
damn,
and they would get huge, and they would get incredibly sexually aggressive. And I think this one dude was like, "Oh God, dude, your hair smells good." I'm like, "Yo, you gotta stop shooting tea, man." Gotta put it down.
How did they pretend to be experiencing gender dysmorphia? That's crazy.
So there were like people who. So I
feel like these guys aren't good at acting. The guys who won.
So they were like
they were before they got all the teeth. So.
Well, I think so. Okay, all right. I'll walk that back because I don't know if it was necessarily like pretending as much as it was
just
like,
lie.
No, it was like it was people shooting tea, and then it was like, wow, like I am breaking out everywhere, and I want to fucking kill people.
Yeah,
I don't want to shoot tea. But I still have a prescription for tea, and here's a bunch of like fucking guys who are like, I don't have time to get jacked. And like, I mean, you do gain visible muscle mass by doing nothing if you inject testosterone. And like this guy, man, his voice dropped like 2 octaves, and he's like, "What's going on, Trip?" And it's like, fuck, dude. Just like fucking, just massive fucking like forearm. Like there's places on your wrist that just should be kind of skinny. You know what I mean? And these dudes are just like fucking. You're almost built like the Michelin Man because your body just doesn't know how to deal with all that fucking.
They got dad wrists. They got big, strong dad wrists.
One of our other friends named Chris was a big he was I think it's not fucking, I'm forgetting what it's called, like GRX or something. And it is like a knockoff, like it's not quite pure testosterone, but it's like a creatine that's just jacked through the roof.
Is it called Gear?
I think gear just is like a colloquialism for anything that you can like any kind of performance drugs. But man, it's so sick, dude. I'm so like fucking Lance Armstrong lives in Colorado, and he's a fucking hero, dude. He deserves to be able to take steroids. What a lame thing to have to fucking take steroids for, like the fucking bike.
Yeah.
Be the king of like the 45-year-old dudes.
Yeah, he still has like his legs like aren't like huge, right? Or they never got huge, just because like you don't need like that wasn't like the biker body type or whatever.
Yeah, I think at a certain point you just become all fucking like hip core. I mean, Chris, you're the biggest biker out of the 3 of us. You have you have the nylon spandex, like fucking
I don't have any spandex, no, but
those handlebars that are so low.
The other day, and it was fucking just horrible. I was dying, man. But yeah, no, you don't get any fucking like. I mean, you'll get refined calf muscles, and that's about it. Which is all I'm going for.
Right.
Because not to bring it back to the foot area of the body, but the calf is objectively the most attractive part of the human body. You have the curves. If you have a really well-defined calf and it's juicy and, you know, not too lean, but it's got enough muscle and it's got enough fat where you can press into it a little bit.
It's supple.
Yeah. That's that Simpsons episode where Milhouse gets jacked, but he can't like get his calves. Like that's the one thing he can't do.
Chris, didn't you tell me one time you thanked a biker for their service or something? I kind of remember you telling me like how you do an army man or some shit. I remember thinking that was good.
Probably. I mean, I just love the biker community. When I was at the protests and shit, the bikers. They were the best guys there because they were the most confident, and they like shouldn't have been. But it's like to have a bike between you and a cop. You're like, yeah, I'll push forward a little bit.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, man, let's do that.
It's like a riot shield. It's like a gay riot shield. It's cool.
Dude. It is until they got the order, use any means necessary.
Yeah,
and then we were all like, okay, we're
going to
back up a little bit, and then we all split.
So, yeah, that's a good idea. I mean,
fuck the cops, man. Fuck them.
They blinded 8 people in that period. 8 motherfucking people, and like half of that, like there's like completely no contradiction. Or I mean, there's a complete contradiction with the official report. And even if there isn't, it's like, yo, so you're gonna blind this motherfucker because he shoved you? Like you're a fucking cop, dude. You're supposed to be able to throw hands, you little bitch. Like, that should be part of the job. Crazy.
Those people who got blinded, like fucking. They're seriously, I respect them so much because they're all on fucking Twitter too, like talking about it. Like if that was me, I'd probably just be holed up in my room, like depressed. But they're like, posting selfies and shit, and like I respect that.
Yeah. I grew up wearing a patch, and it you know, at 6 or 7, I mean, well, listen, you guys saw how good that pirate inflection was, and I wanted to tell you. You grow up with a lazy eye, baby. You gotta wear a patch. You fucking get good at the pirate impression.
You're like Solid Snake, Trip. You know about guns, and you had an eye patch.
You know what the crazy thing is? I genuinely believe that like you can trace like because the thing about the eye patch guy is you either go on and you know you transcend in life. You know what I mean? Because you just have some drive where it's like I am not a freak, or you know, you do become Solid Snake upon our enemies. And,
you got to play Metal Gear, man. I feel like you'd like that. Both of you should play it, but Trip especially because he likes guns.
We only have the PS3. Yeah, so it's like old school. We don't have. I really want to play the Call of Duty Warzone or whatever. I've heard that's like kind of a classic.
Yeah, Warzone's good. Warzone's good.
Throwback to that kind of shit, but
yeah. Do you know what the Gulag is? That's pretty cool.
Is it like the shooting? It's like the game where like you just have pistols or whatever. Or something like that?
Yeah, once you die for the first time, you get thrown in like a fucking like a small arena, and you're against another guy who just died, and you each just have pistols, and you gotta kill each other. And if you kill him, you get to go back into the game. The only problem is games take so long to finish. Like it takes way longer than like a Fortnite game or whatever.
Okay. I lived with a semi-pro Fortnite kid for a little bit, and it really was fucking impressive. He would like bet money on these tournaments, and there's a spot on our wall in the basement where he would shove his fucking like computer and shit into the wall, and there's just no paint there because whenever he would lose money, and it'd be like there'd be a couple $100 on the line in these Fortnite games, and he would just be like down there like fuck. And he was the same dude who once told me, he's like, yo, dude, you don't need to eat out a girl. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, dude, you're at a party, you're dancing with a girl, she's wet already, dude. Sweat, man, that's what I'm talking about. And
what the fuck does that even mean?
Dude, like it's sweaty, so you can like get it in there. But at a later occasion, he's like, yeah, man, I don't really think I've gotten there with a woman. And we're like, what are you talking about? He's like, made him come. And we're like,
of course not.
I didn't mean to interrupt, Steve. What were you saying?
No, you're fine.
It must be them. They're not sweating enough.
Yeah. You gotta sweat more.
Something must be wrong with the glands.
That's just you think the pussy is. Like there's fucking no AC going, it's 90 degrees in your place.
Yeah, you have like a blowtorch or not a blowtorch. What do you call that shit? A hair dryer, and you just put that shit down there to make her sweat.
You're heating her up like a fucking dab.
Speaking of gaming, after I like searched out all those twitlongers for the Smash stuff, all of my Twitter recommended topics, it was like gaming, Smash Bros, Mario Bros, Nintendo, Legend of Zelda, Switch, which is just that's like a very defeating thing to see, you know? Like that's what the algorithm thinks of me. Giant faggot.
How do those companies feel? How does Nintendo feel about them being advertised just for pedophilia? You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
They're
it's a good
now
question.
Connected to pedophilia forever.
I think we're gonna see what happens. They've like released a statement saying, shit, we're not about this. We're not pedophiles at Nintendo. I don't know.
Maybe they knew because they've never been about the pro Smash scene.
So the guy Nairo or Nario, however you say his name, he did have a video on Nintendo's YouTube channel that has been since deleted or like unlisted or something. So they're watching. They know what's going on. But it's like they also weren't super great. At least for like Melee, they weren't like super supportive of that in general. So it's like, they don't care anymore. That's fine, really. But if they like actively try and like destroy the competitive scene, that would suck. Because they are like, even if it's like legal or not legal, they are like a massively powerful company. You know,
they
could do some shit.
They could do that.
Yeah.
They have to be like one of the more powerful. I mean, I guess there's like Sony and shit, but like, I guess Microsoft sells all their fucking data to the police, which is like an Intercept article that's too sad to talk about. So we're gonna keep moving, baby. Yeah, on to the good times. They discovered a vaccine, baby. I'm heading back to the glory hole. Did you guys see that?
There's a vaccine
trials. Yeah, babe, I'm gonna be, dude. I cannot wait for the fucking anti-vax people to be like, it's the fucking sign of the beast, because it is going to be lines out the block, and that's going to be the start of the party too. I've been waiting on this for a while, man, when like everyone is like, when this pestilence is fucking gone and we can all just like really just get fucking disgusting, and you know,
that will be nice.
100%.
That will be good.
It's gonna be like a bathhouse summer for me. I'm just gonna find another side. I never even thought about public sex before this, but you know what?
You're kind of like Butters. You ever see that South Park where Butters goes to the like accidentally ends up in a bathhouse? That one's good. It's Butters is like bi-curious or something. That one's good. Because he's not actually bi-curious, but like his dad thinks he's bi-curious.
Right. Well, I mean, neither am I, but I mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Although I gotta tell you, there was this one house tour, and like we just weren't gonna get the place, and we were both just like, all right, we're just gonna try to act like we might suck this guy's dick, and it almost worked, man. Being like, wow, this is such a great place. Wow, you really put some fucking effort into the crown molding, and I'm like looking at this motherfucker like. It's getting bad, dude. I'm looking at my bank account, and I'm like, oof.
Oh man,
gay for pay has never been closer.
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
Speaking of gay, I saw it's SpongeBob's birthday today.
Congratulations!
Oh hell yeah!
Is he non-binary or is he asexual? I forgot which one he is.
I think the guy said, Steven Hillenberg said in like 2006 that he was asexual, and then Nickelodeon. Yeah. It'd be fucking crazy if Nintendo owns SpongeBob. Let's live in that world for a second, guys. What the fuck? What the fuck? Damn, Super SpongeBob Bros. What the fuck?
Dude, we need to get like a SpongeBob Dan Schneider episode where it's just like everybody.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Let's get Dan on the pod. Friend of the show, Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider on the fucking show, baby. I do blame him, man. I blame him for everything that's befallen me. But I've become, it's like that one. It's like the kid who got AIDS from a blood transfusion, and then conservative America was like, it's okay to have AIDS. Like, I am that for the foot fetish. I just blame it on Dan Schneider. It's like, it was no fault of my own.
Run me back by that. Wait, so the conservative America was like, it's okay to have AIDS because the kid didn't get it from having gay sex, right? And they just didn't want the kid to feel bad? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also a South Park episode. Cartman gives Kyle AIDS.
No, it's like, I think it's a real thing that happened.
No, I know. I think it's inspired by true events or whatever. They love ripping from the headlines. That's South Park.
Right, dude.
I love half remembering South Park episodes and then trying to tell them to you guys. Back on SpongeBob's birthday, there was like a birthday post that Nickelodeon did. And you know how Twitter has like that hidden reply thing? Well, the hidden reply was like, Patrick with an erection, and then SpongeBob giving him a blowjob, and then Mr. Krabs rimming SpongeBob, and then like Plankton like in someone's ear or something. It was just an insane image, and they saw it because they hid the reply. You know, like hid the reply is just such an insane like. Oh, so you want like times 1,000 more people to look at this picture, hide the reply, you know? Like, it's such an obvious fucking no-brainer, dumbass fucking implementation.
I'm looking this up right now just for research for this.
No, it's sick. It's a cool image. I'll find it. It's great. It's so great. And then also, like, every other reply in chat was just like, is like SpongeBob holding his nuts, or like, you know how there's just like a million fucking SpongeBob memes, right? And like, and then there was like one child who was like, "Happy birthday, SpongeBob!" And then the SpongeBob account's like, "Thanks." And then every other reply is just like SpongeBob getting his dick sucked, or fucking Patrick killing him, just shit like that.
Who was the first cartoon character you guys jacked off to?
Ooh, we're gonna beep this out.
You've ever watched the Airbender? There's a girl who can feel the earth move with her feet, and I knew right.
I know who Toph is, Trip. You don't need to fucking act like I don't know who Toph is.
Yeah,
not that I beat off to her, but I know who Toph is.
Yeah, the one fucking thing that's like permanently on my like fucking Safari on my phone.
Oh my god.
Toph R34, yeah.
Dude, it's cause the fucking feet.
It's cause of the feet, baby. Yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, I can't. Oh, no, never mind.
I can't find all this Toph porn.
No, I'm finding the SpongeBob porn right now. I'm not there yet. Okay, I sent it into the group Twitter DM. You guys can check. You guys can take a 2-minute gander.
Take a 2 minute little break. You know?
Yeah.
It's the mental health corner, baby. We're back on the mental health corner. How the boys feeling this week? We all doing okay?
Dude, isn't it sick? It's so sick. Oh, dude, they hid more. There's more. They're hiding more images.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, they have to know.
Dude, one in the anime style with Squidward.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so.
God, the first one, I think.
So big, and he's blowing on like the saxophone. Oh Jesus! It's everybody at the fucking chum bucket in SpongeBob's ass.
I'm not seeing the chum bucket one.
Not the what's the place where he goes?
The Krusty Krab.
You know, the badass place where it's like Weenie Hut Juniors is the other one. They're like, you need to go to Weenie Hut. Is it like the fucking Rusty Anchor or some shit?
Okay. The Rusty Spoon. I don't know.
Oh, the Rusty Spittoon or the Weenie Hut Junior or something. Hey, how do I actually see the tweet though? Feel me?
Chris is.
Did they
I'm
hide
trying to
the
get
tweet?
in there, buddy.
I don't understand that.
Is this it? Is this the tweet we're talking about?
No. I sent it in the group DM. Do you see what's on my screen, Chris?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Chris's PG-13 Twitter.
Yeah, Chris's parental locks on.
Dude,
I can't see all the cool shit on Twitter that we can see. It's just SpongeBob getting fucked.
SpongeBob with all 3 holes. Fucking.
Me and Trip are Twitter premium members. We get all the good content.
I would pay for Twitter Premium, and every month I'd be like, these motherfuckers. Like, I had to see this fucking shit.
Yeah. Dude, that would be crazy if they did do some sort of premium shit.
I wouldn't put past Jack, fucking St. Louis boy. That's how you know that fucking app is just cancer. And he's like, nah, it's freedom of speech, baby. And it's like, yeah, no, and it's cancer. Like, turns out most people shouldn't talk.
Okay, are we talking about Jack, the Twitter creator? Right?
Yeah, Jack Dorsey. At least he's not Zuckerberg is my only thing.
Yeah,
I agree with that. He's been talking about, I think this is him, implementing a UBI in like select U.S. cities. Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah, I think I did hear him say that.
Jesus.
That's all I know about
That's bleak, dude.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it out to fucking Franklin County, Missouri, is it? It's not going to make it out there. It's not going
to fucking make it out to the place that these folks are building their house, unfortunately.
No, you guys are so deep.
Location last week.
Well, no, we've used counties. Yeah, it's St. Charles County. We can put it that way, right? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could beep it also.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I think we're at like an hour. I would be down to do like a half one or a full one, where we could just keep talking on this. I need to start doing a timer. This is bad when I'm like, because I think we're at an hour, just judging off like when I texted the second link or
it's
something.
Like 37, and now it's 47. So I think it's like hour 10.
Yeah, and
hour 15.
Well, I don't think we started immediately when I sent that second link in. Like, I think we did chit chat a little bit, but I think it is around. It might be like an hour 5 or something. So
I'm gonna check these views right here on the other one. What's it called?
Yeah,
Babies I think are perfect.
Babies are perfect. Should I end this one then?
Yeah, let's fucking kill it. Fuck these people.
Okay, cool. Anybody want to plug anything? We don't have anything to plug.
Everybody. I am not.